Yo, what is up YouTube? So, I finally got around to making a shadow guide for Labyrinth. Um, Honestly, I really don't like this area as a whole. I'd much rather farm in Lemon. But I know some people have to farm here for one reason or another, so I made this guide. So I picked out a couple of maps that I think are the best. But honestly, the layouts and rotations aren't very optimized, so the rates that I will be putting up may not be very accurate, but they should be alright. So in the bottom left, I'll be posting the meso rates and the kills per hour for each map. Just keep in mind that the meso rates are assuming 20% meso inner ability, wealth coupon, wealth potion, and that you're two-shotting with meso explosion. And also no lucid soul, because lucid soul just does like no damage. Okay, so to start us off, we have Labyrinth of Suffering Interior 5. This is the only map in the video that's from the beginning portion of Labyrinth, so if your level or your arcane force isn't high enough for the deeper areas, then you can come here. So the rotation is pretty simple. You place Dark Flare in the top left, and then you just go in a clockwise fashion, using Boomerang Stab and Meso Explosion, and you use Rope Lift or Shadow Soul to climb up. You're gonna find that the rotation, this like clockwise rotation, is gonna be pretty much similar for most of the maps here, because honestly the layouts are so scuffed that I think this is pretty much the only rotation that you can do. So the first map in the middle portion is gonna be Labyrinth of Suffering Core 4. So this map has always been really good. This is the map that I used to farm at when I was getting to 275. And it's still really good despite the other maps getting buffed and this one not. The mob count is one of the highest in Labyrinth, well, excluding the deepest portion. But the layout is kind of scuffed. As you can see, there's a lot of platforms, but it's still one of the highest rates in the middle portion. So you're going to place Dark Flare in the top left platform like I did there. You can use Shadow Veil on the bottom left portion just to cover the entire left side of the map for a couple seconds while you can just rotate the right side. But in general, when Shadow Veil isn't up, you're just going to be doing a clockwise rotation like normal. So this map is kind of interesting. It's actually one of probably the worst map in the entire video, but I included this because it's one of the very few maps that has a different rotation than just a clockwise rotation. So you place Dark Flare on the right, and what you can do is you can pretty much just take the portal at the bottom left, teleport to the top right, and just make your way down diagonally left. As you can see here, the rates are pretty low, but pretty much no one comes here, so the burning is always guaranteed to be high. And if you want to just break up the monotony of the other maps' rotations, then you can try this map. But yeah, I just mostly included this because I thought the rotation was pretty interesting. So actually, speaking of interesting maps, this one is also pretty different. You place Dark Flare in the second from the top right, and you can pretty much just Boomerang Stab and Meso Explosion in the bottom platform. If you do this, then you won't get some of the mobs. Also, you have to use the bottom left portal to teleport up sometimes, and you can clear the mobs in the top right. So I mean, it looks kind of complicated, but honestly, this is probably one of the simplest rotations that you can do in a Labyrinth map. And although the rates aren't like very good, I think it's good enough for how simple the rotation is. Like, I think this is one of the most value maps that you can get. In terms of burning, I don't know, this isn't as unpopular as the Core 5, but you can also try this map. So this is a map that pretty much everybody already knows of. It's Deep Core 1. So this is the first of the deep maps, and these maps have the highest rates. Of these maps, Deep Core 1 has by far the best rates, both in terms of kills per hour and meso. But because of how popular it is, there's pretty much never any burning at popular hours. So that's the only reason why I can't personally recommend this map. But if you're just looking for like pure meso, this map is probably the best map that you can do in Labyrinth. So you place the Dark Flare in the top right. I used to place it in the top left, but mobs actually don't spawn there anymore, so that was a buff. So you place Dark Flare in the top right and just rotate in a clockwise fashion. For here, I place Dark Flare in the left, and yeah, the rotation is fairly simple. So because Deep Core 1 is so popular, I decided to try and find a couple other deep maps just to give it a bit more diversity. So Deep Core 3 is alright. I think it's the worst of the deep core maps, at least in this video. And the rotation is, again, it's a clockwise rotation, so it's pretty standard. I placed Dark Flare on the top right. You can see in the video exactly where I place it. And yeah, this map is, honestly, I really don't recommend it. There's so many platforms that looting is just a hassle, but again, the rates aren't bad because there's just so many mobs. So this map is similar to Deep Core 3, it's Deep Core 4. Again, I wouldn't really recommend this map just because the layout's so annoying, but again, the rates are good enough to just justify putting it in this video. So again, I placed Dark Flare near the top right, and then I do another clockwise rotation. I think Deep Core 4 is slightly better than Deep Core 3, but also because of that, I think a couple more people come here, so the burning might not be as high. So, I mean, I'm putting all these maps in so you can kind of choose. You can have a selection to choose from. So yeah, this map is just like one of those filler maps. So this might be my favorite Deep Core map after Deep Core 1. It's 5, and I know this map is kind of popular, especially with some of the other classes. However, this map is one of those maps where the rotation is not a clockwise rotation, and also the rates here are actually the best for a non-clockwise map. So if you're just trying for a lazier rotation or a simpler rotation, then this map is probably the best map you'll get in terms of meso rates. Again, for EXP, it's probably not the best because burning here isn't going to be very high. But yeah, you place Dark Flare in the very top right corner, which will clear those top two on the right, and you can use Boomerang Stab and Mace Explosion to cover the bottom and the bottom top platforms. The very top left platform is gonna not clear as often, so you can Shadow Assault there yourself, or you can like place a Lucid Soul if you have one. But yeah, I like this map, although again, I wouldn't farm in Labyrinth if I could avoid it. Yeah, so that's gonna be all the maps for Labyrinth. I will be making a Moonbridge and Limina guide eventually. I don't know about Moonbridge, but I know Limina is just so much better. I mean, if you see my 12.25 video, then you'll kind of know how much better Limina is in terms of rates and simplicity. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. I will see you guys in the next one.